Yeah?
Yeah. I thought I was going to die during that workout this morning. It was
We
not
got all wrecked from it. We're like, oh my God.
See, quite a few people, when I posted up that I'd done it and I said there's very few workouts that take a little bit of my soul. Loads of people were like, I think you're overreacting, Jen. I honestly think you're overreacting. I'm like, no, I'm not.
not.
I mean, I've done Murph to hell and back. I've done 2 hours of Murph, and like I would do that again over the NHS squad.
Oh my God.
It's just like the best part of it is only 5 reps, and then it's like, oh my God, I'm back at back squats. Oh my God, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
Every time I was just like, how did I get to the squats so quickly? That was the worst part of it, I think. But
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't. It was the I had to mix up the old star jumps.
oh yeah,
Because when you've had 5 children, that amount of star jumps is not okay. So I ended up doing like, the mum classes where you can do half a star jump, like to the left.
yeah.
So I did treat a bit there. And then, because at one point I was just jumping, I thought if anyone looks on my screen, Mark will be like, what the hell are you doing? You haven't even got a skipping rope. Like, you're just pretending.
Yeah, I was getting so scared with those star jumps. I was like, I could barely jump. My feet were going like this far off the ground. I was like, they're still off the ground.
I literally, I have to put a mark on the floor in the gym for me to do skipping in the gym. Otherwise it catches on everything. So like whenever like I've got to work out with skipping in the gym, I'm just like, oh no, not again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't.
PT has joined us. Hiya.
You're right. Oh.
All right, guys, we will get started because I know that there wasn't as many of us to join today. So we were going to talk a little bit more about snacking again. How have people found the last couple of days snack-wise? Has everyone kind of planned snacks that they normally have?
Oops, I've lost.
Not really. I've just not been snacking at all. Or
Okay.
trying to.
So Bee's taken out snacks altogether. That's a good
I'm
shout.
having lunch really, like I'm having breakfast quite late and then I have lunch really late and then dinner at like 7ish. So then it's like a good amount of time in between my meals. So I don't get hungry.
That's cool. PT, how's your snacking going?
I found myself really busy yesterday with work, so I wasn't thinking about food
Okay.
at certain times. But yeah, I've been having an apple and an orange,
Ah, cool.
but then I haven't taken that into account when it comes to my meals.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much, so long as we're not with the snacking part, so long as we're not going crazy with like biscuits and overloading on sugar and carbs and stuff. If you're having fruit, it's obviously a much better option than a bunch of biscuits, right? Because I don't know that many of us pick up one chocolate digestive at a time. No, exactly, right? So I think so long as you're being sensible about the snacks, that's probably more important, making a healthier choice for your snack, right? So I wouldn't see that as a bad thing, PT. I would see that as a really good thing, especially with you and the timings of when you're working out and stuff. If you're snacking on that fruit, it's going to be better for you when you're working out, if you're doing it between that kind of food and workout phase as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I had a couple of spoonfuls of protein yogurt as well. Just
Nice.
remembered yesterday, like quite large spoonful.
So
Can
nice.
you buy protein yogurt? Sorry, I'm
Yes,
using an accent.
yeah, so Skyra, they do a really good protein yogurt. It's really nice as well, actually. Icelandic, it's a good one. And the other one, if you get like total Greek yogurt, it's actually quite high in protein.
Okay.
I tend to go for the lower fat one, but they tend to be a lot higher in protein than your average yogurt, so they're actually quite good. There's a few brands out there that do it as well, so it's definitely a good snack to have a couple of mouthfuls of that. Or even if you're having a smaller yogurt, it's a good one to have instead of kind of for the biscuits.
That's a great idea.
Peanuts. I've got
The
to
only
say
one
that
Oh,
Bee's
Sorry.
recipe for the smoothie this morning in between workouts worked an absolute treat.
Did it. Nice
Yeah.
day.
Well done, B. That was absolutely brilliant.
Nice. Glad that worked. So, so it's something to keep trying as we go forward, Dave, with the double sessions, right? I think it's definitely one of those things we need to kind of up your intake and between sessions more so, just because otherwise you will flatline halfway through a workout, and we don't want that.
No,
Right.
especially since you're doing it virtually.
Yeah, we can't do CPR from here.
Yeah. Honestly, like I'm gonna have a mad
That's good, but
panic
not that good.
when someone slows down on a workout and stops moving on the screen. I'm like, is the screen frozen? What do I do? Oh my god! Honestly, it's like it's a scary thought. And Mark did it the other day, and I was like, is the screen frozen or is it Mark stop? What one is it? But yeah, so it's a really, really good thing to do if you are doing those double sessions to get in between. Just noticed Fran's got a lovely little tan.
I know, I've
Ah.
start reading the paper. Yeah.
Slightly jealous.
I have to have a closer look now.
Yeah,
Gosh,
Fran,
you have. Well done.
Yeah, she's got a nice little glow. Sorry, Fran, I just noticed that. So from the snacking point of view, so obviously there was a couple of different ways to handle it that we talked about. One of them was putting an allocated time for your snack. So if you've already got quite a structured time for when your meals are, scheduling in that snack time is quite a good one as well. One of the other things that I did mention, and I don't know if anyone's actually tried it yet, is if you feel like you're going to grab a snack, is to just do something else for 5-10 minutes, and then see whether or not you're actually hungry after that. Has anyone given that one a go yet?
No, we'll try that.
How'd you find it, Georgina?
That's what I need to do, because I'm the person who won't go for a healthy snack. I would hunt down the chocolate in the house if I possibly could. I'm very good at hunting down chocolate, so it has to be not in the house. But,
Yep.
yeah, do something else to distract myself for a bit longer, and yeah.
That's my usual life coping mechanism, is when I want to eat to do something else, which is why I have to be really busy all the time because I'm always hungry. But it's hard at the moment.
Yeah, I guess because we can't just pop out anymore either, right? It's trying to keep yourself busy in the same four walls that you're used to now. So one of the good things that I've kind of been leveraging a little bit more from that perspective is, while the whole getting off of social media for a little bit of time, is actually spending a little bit more time doing other stuff. So I literally yesterday, I kind of got deeply involved. I went to the fridge. I was like, no, not hungry, go do something else. And I ended up doing about an hour's worth of my sign language course, because I just started to kind of get into it a little bit. And it was a really cool opportunity just to spend an hour. And it was that thing of, I've read 5 minutes and I completely forgot about what I was originally doing, because I got so engrossed into it that I just carried on doing it. And then before I knew it, I was like, oh, I need to cook dinner in a minute. So that's a really good way, is if you've got something online that you're learning, or something that you're trying to do or read through, that's a really good way to distract yourself, especially if it's something you're enjoying, because you will just naturally get wrapped up into it.
Yeah. Because it's a habit, isn't it, Jen? At the end of the day, it's just a habit, and it's a boredom habit. And I'm like you, Georgina. I'm a bloodhound for the chocolate. You know, my husband hides it, and I know where his hiding places are.
Yeah, no, so no, I have exactly the same with Darren. So I can literally smell an open biscuit packet from mum. Like, if the packet's closed, I'm fine. It's as soon as it's open, there's no stopping me, right? And I have found like distraction is one of the best ways. And it's as you said, it's that habit, right? I get up, I walk into the kitchen, I open all the cupboards, I open the fridge. I don't know why I do it, but I open the fridge, I open the cupboards, see a biscuit, I want to grab it. And then I don't just grab one biscuit, I grab a couple. So I've almost tried to change the habit to be, when I'm walking into the kitchen or heading towards the kitchen, unless I actually don't need to get something, do something else, and don't actually physically go into the kitchen. It's that movement of going to the kitchen triggers that habit of grabbing a biscuit. It's the same. I don't know if any of you guys have ever got your routine when you commute, right? Or when you travel. When I traveled for work, my routine was, I got up, I parked up, I got all my stuff, I went to the coffee shop, I brought a coffee, I spent 5 minutes chatting to the guy, and then I walked to the train. When I needed to save money, I could leave a little bit later and I brought my own coffee. It was a really weird routine to get used to, but it was changing that dynamic of a habit that I had. It's the same thing, right? It's just we're in a much smaller confined space. So it's how do you change what normally happens when you walk into the kitchen? And it's now, for me, it's about associating the kitchen with, I'm either making breakfast, I'm making a cup of coffee, or I'm making lunch, or I'm making dinner. That's pretty much all I should be associating the kitchen with. Or grabbing a glass of wine on the weekend, right? That's pretty much it. But at the moment, and up until probably the last week or so, I just associate the kitchen with going in and getting food. That was it. Didn't matter what food it was. And when you say chocolate, like I'm one of those suckers. I'll even like eat a slice of bread with butter on it. And just like any bit of food I can get hold of, that's what I will do. So it's quite good to try and just break it up and almost make the kitchen out of bounds. If I don't need to go to that direction of the house for any reason, there's no point. Like our downstairs toilet is right next to the kitchen. So now if I need the toilet, I go upstairs. I don't go downstairs because I pass the kitchen. Right. But it's really weird little habits like that, you know, I've changed that now and I'm starting to change. I'm not snacking as much. So it's just trying to find those extra little ways to just rejig your thing. And I'm lucky there's no food upstairs. So it works.
That's a really good idea, changing the association.
Yeah.
Does anyone else lie to themselves? Like I constantly lie to myself. I'll go, oh look, I'll just, you know, it's just today. I'll reward myself today, and then tomorrow I'll be better. Because, you know, I've done it before. I've lost this weight that I've put back on again. I'll be fine. So I'll just kind of have a few bits, and then tomorrow, and then I think, you know what? I've had a few. I might as well have a few more. And then tomorrow rolls around. And so for me, a lot of this problem is in my head, where I constantly lie to myself.
Yeah.
And as opposed to kind of praising myself, which I saw something yesterday. And I think when you encourage yourself and say, God, you've been really good today, keep going, it makes a completely different response in your head than because seriously, I'm a total con man when it comes to my eating.
Yeah, and it's also remembering that it's not just necessarily about saying, I'll redo it tomorrow, I'll restart it now. So it's gonna happen. You're gonna have a snack. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen. Yeah. It's more about not mentally beating yourself up about it and going, fuck it. I'll just eat everything, right? And then I'll start again tomorrow. Yeah. It's kind of like our worst thing, right? Like if you do that, you're almost setting yourself up for failure, right? Yeah. So do you know what? When you have that, like when Jamie sent the Krispy Kremes, if you've had one, fair play. But so long as for the rest of the day, you stuck at what you were doing, right? That one Krispy Kreme isn't going to make a massive dent. The same as a couple of chocolate biscuits in the space of, you know, a week aren't going to kill you. So if you have the chocolate biscuits at 10 in the morning, just sit there and go, right, that's it. I'm done for the day now. And try and refocus on it. I think that the whole conning yourself, it's a natural human reaction, right? You do something that you know you shouldn't have, or that like negatively impacts what you think. And then we're our own worst critics. So we just beat ourselves up about it, right? You've just got to sit there and go, done, right? Start again, start afresh from that minute on. Yeah. It's a hard mentality to get into, but once you get into it, it's actually not that bad, because then it's things like you find that chocolate biscuit, you probably won't go and eat it after a little while of getting into that routine of just saying, I'll start again, because it's just a case of, I actually don't want it. I don't need it. And I think that's the important thing. Or the other one is like picking when you have that treat, right? Setting yourself up for the week and saying, right, and not necessarily rewarding yourself with a treat, but just saying, do you know what? I know Thursdays are my sucky day. It's a long day for me. Whatever routine you've got, I'm going to have a bit of cake on a Thursday night after dinner. Schedule it in if you need to, right? Just so that you know you've got something to look forward to. And that's going to make you less likely to go, I'm going to have these biscuits now and I'll start again tomorrow, because it'll be, well, if I have the biscuits now, I should probably give up the cake later. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's another great way to just kind of almost reward yourself, but without rewarding yourself because you've just done really well.
You shut the door, please.
You almost just want to schedule that bit of work in for work, that little bit of extra naughtiness in for the week at some point.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Anyone else lighted themselves as much as I have been, or is it just me?
Me. And I did that with a gin and tonic. Sort of, I decided I would have a gin and tonic on a Friday night when I did my original eating thing.
Yeah.
And it would get to the Friday night and I'd think, well, actually, I'd done fine and I didn't really need it. And I'd put it off maybe till the Sunday and then probably not have it then either. But at the moment, being in house all the time, it's not successful.
Yeah, and being in, I think that the circumstances we're under make it even more stressful, right? Because when you're out and about, you're going to work, you're seeing other people, you're chatting, you've got much more going on around you that's keeping you mentally stimulated as well, which makes a huge difference. So at the moment, we're all kind of stuck in with four walls, the same people around us, and, you know, breaking those routines and trying not to set bad new ones is really tough. So circumstances are always going to play a part in that. And I think that's why this time around, it's not so much don't beat yourself up about stuff, right? If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. Just draw a line under it, start again, make the best of the circumstances that we've got. It's not saying that should happen overnight. You ideally want to be consistent forever, right? We don't want an all or nothing, 100% good for 6 weeks and then crash and burn, put more weight on, get into bad habits again. You want to be consistently good so you can enjoy the little things in life. Like the cost of getting a 6-pack is pretty unreal. I don't know if you guys know any bodybuilders, competitive ones. They're pretty miserable people. They are though, right? They eat certain things at a certain time. They literally eat like sugar-free jelly and rice cakes and whatever else, and chicken and rice, like the same thing again and again and again. They don't go out to eat. I know we can't at the moment. They don't go to barbecues. They don't go to those gatherings because if they do, they bring their own food. It's pretty miserable to be that lean. A lot of them will train for like 3-4 hours a day. Yes, there are people that are genetically lean. Mark is a good example of that again, right? He is genetically gifted for being lean, but he also has a very high metabolism. Your average person, if you want to get that lean, it's really, really hard and it takes a toll on the body as well. And it's not sustainable. So if you watch these competitive bodybuilders, has anyone seen what the first thing they do is after a competition? They literally stuff themselves with pizza, burgers, you name it.
I know a girl that used to do like fitness modeling, and she did it like 2 or 3 years, and she was like, I will never do that again. It's awful.
Yeah, it's a real unrealistic view that people have, like a very skewed view. What you see on the media, what you see on social media and everything else is a very skewed view of what naturally healthy people look like. And I think it's just really important to kind of bear in mind, just be consistent 80% of the time. Like it's a long old journey, right? You're not going to be doing this. If you've got a 6-week goal, that's cool, but go for that longer term, right? Go for that continuously healthy goal. Body shape, weight, size, everything changes drastically. In the 6 years I've been doing, 6 years I've been doing CrossFit, I went from 84 kilos to 58 kilos, sat at 60 kilos, looked completely different at 2 different times in my life at 60 kilos, and now I sit at 70 kilos. And, you know, it's just about being consistent every step of the way, but still enjoying it. Like if I wanted a 6-pack, I would literally be the most miserable person in the world, more so than now. So it comes in that balance, right? If it's a goal to have, it's a cool goal, but there's a big cost to it. So just because you've had a biscuit or 2, don't beat yourself up about it.
Could we benefit from, like, because I know encouragement really works, particularly why AA is so successful, isn't it? Could we have, like, would anyone be up for like a WhatsApp group where we could just put encouraging, you know, just a reminder that we're in it together, or does that work for people or not?
We've got the WhatsApp group, Joe. Let me send you the link for it.
Yeah, I don't have that. Oh, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll send you the link for it, Joe. We'll get you on the WhatsApp group, because I agree, it's the same thing, right? Everyone, you know, when you're having that weak little moment, you need someone to either say, no, don't do it, or you've got it, chill out. Like, don't.
I like to have someone that I've got to tell. So I have to say, because I said it to B, didn't I? I was like, right, if I struggle at work, I've got to tell B that I've done it, and I will do that, but it will stop me doing it.
No, definitely. I'll send you the link for it, Joe, and then
Thank you.
get you on it.
But I think, you know, what Joe was saying about lying to yourself. I use the MyFitnessPal app from, you know, to track your food.
Yeah.
And Doritos says, oh, this food is low in saturated fat.
Yeah.
And before all this, I was like, that's great. And I got into the habit of having a packet every single day.
Yeah.
And so of course now I haven't had one for a packet of Doritos for, you know, for 4 weeks, for nearly a month now. And I'm out of that habit. But it's amazing how you lie to yourself.
Yeah.
Even a packet of crisps, oh, it's low. It's got to be good for you because it's low in something.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what you're saying, Joe, totally and utterly.
Yeah, and I
But
think
also, what you were saying, Jen, about bodybuilders and that, you want to look at someone, look at one of the CrossFit competition videos and look at Matt Fraser, who's been the champion for the last 4 years. And he comes out from a competition and he's got this massive pizza. And he doesn't, and you read his bio, and he doesn't follow a particular, you know, manically set routine off diet. He just eats more or less what he wants. And he's happy and he trains well. And I think that's, I'm not saying eat whatever you want, but you don't have to be miserable to actually get fit and do it. And Jen's right.
No, I'm miserable. Mine's the other way round. So I'd weighed myself at work. So I haven't got any scales here. So I'd weighed myself at work and I'd put on weight because I'd eaten so bad before the challenge. I think that's what it was. I was then in work, literally, I mean, it's disgusting. They're surrounded with sugar and shit food. Just, it's out of control. And that's my emotional eating. So it's almost the opposite of anorexia or anything like that. It's literally just pushing down emotion, and it's very normal in that environment. So the other people around me are doing the same thing.
they're enabling it, right?
Mm.
Yeah, and you've obviously got differing degrees of eating disorders, but there's actually a newer one, which is the obsession of calorie counting versus exercise. So it's the obsession of tracking the amount of calories you burn when you exercise versus what you eat, and eating ridiculously clean. And this is why, for me, it's really important that we don't obsess about it too much. It's more like Matt Fraser kind of approach, right? Learn what you like, what works for your body, and enjoy the odd snack here and there, because you get to the point where people will obsess. Oh, well, I just ate like half a pizza. I need to go for a 10K run. That shouldn't be the case, right? If you've eaten half a pizza, enjoy it, but know that in a day, that's not going to kill you. Yes, if you keep eating that pizza day in, day out, yes, it's not going to be good for you. But draw a line under it and be like, cool, back on it. I'm back on it. I'm going to have my water. I'm going to get back to my healthy breakfast tomorrow. Like, don't stress too much about it, because I think otherwise there's too much emphasis on keeping track of the numbers, and that can lead to a very unhealthy relationship with the numbers as well, right? And it comes back to the scales as well. I'm not a big fan of weigh-ins. I'm more of a fan of measurements and how you feel, how you look. I'll give you an example. At the start of the month, I could weigh 64 kilos. By the end of the month, I may weigh 68, 69. My weight will fluctuate that much. For a female, it's completely different as well. There's huge impacts on the time in your cycle, all sorts. Sorry, Dave, I appreciate the only guy on here. But it has a huge impact at the time of day that you weigh yourself as well. Had I already exercised? Have I had breakfast? Did I drink my coffee? Like, you literally can put on weight like that. Remember, a litre of water weighs 1 kilo. So if you just down a couple of pints of water, you're naturally going to weigh a kilo heavier, regardless. So it's really, really important not to try and get over obsessed about it. And the emotional side of it as well. Again, it's that thing, like, don't, just because you have, let's say you did have a Krispy Kreme. I don't know how, because they are pure sugar.
They're disgusting.
There's a few.
They literally make my head buzz. But let's say you did, and then for the rest of the day, rather than beat yourself up about it, just go, cool, have my Krispy Kreme. Was it worth it? Do I feel better for it? Meh, maybe, not really. Cool, right, let's get a healthy lunch down me. And you'll feel better. As soon as you have that healthy lunch, you'll feel calmer, you'll feel like you're back on track again, and you won't sit there and go, oh, I'm going to go grab another Krispy Kreme because I'm drowning my sorrows in Krispy Kremes today. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try that. When I'm at home, I'm fine. That protein shake before, so I have half before I do my workout, half after, and so I won't even think about food now until lunchtime. I'm sort of having my breakfast at lunch and going, and that's really helping with snacking in the evening. And I'm doing what you said, Jen. I'm staying upstairs, so I take my bottle of water upstairs, because the lying to yourself bit, I do it with even going in the kitchen. I just make myself a nice cup of tea. When really, subconsciously, I'm not going for tea. I'm going to go and root around the cupboards. So I don't even do that now. I just stay upstairs now.
Yeah, and it is literally, it's just trying to break those little habits that we're used to. Like, you can still lie to yourself and get up and go into the kitchen and go, I'm making a cup of tea. So long as you actually make the cup of tea, it's cool, right? Just don't grab the biscuit. But almost just avoiding doing it is the best way, right? How many cups of tea do you actually need to drink in a day? I think like the first week of this, I was literally on 6 cups of coffee before 10 in the morning, which is a lot more than normal for me. I do get up early, but it was that age-old thing, right? Oh, I finished my cup of coffee, I'm gonna walk into the kitchen. It was time to get into a new sync of the routine. So now I've had 2 cups of coffee today. But it's trying to get into it and know that, do you know what? I've had 1 too many cups of coffee, draw a line under it. But it's the same with food. The mentality is exactly the same. And you've just got to try and work out how to break that cycle. That's all.
Yeah.
CPT as well last night. You managed to portion off half the dinner, I saw. Yes, PT, look at that.
It's in the fridge waiting for me. I sent that photo to Paul. He said, that's hardly worth leaving. Actually, that made a difference, you know. I was okay when I left that. It was sat in front of me for a while, and I had one, like half a spoon before I actually put it in the, you know, in a Tupperware dish. And I might have that. Well, I haven't had breakfast yet because, surprise, surprise, I woke up late. So I've got my oats in the fridge. I'll have that after this call.
Nice.
And then, which means, and then I'll have that chicken and rice. 3:30 maybe.
Nice.
And then I'm going to do a light workout tonight because I saw that thing on Instagram about recovery, how important it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Weekends, if I did, like I didn't do a workout last Saturday, I think, with Paul, and I felt so bad that I didn't sweat that day. And I think it's just reminding yourself, and my stepdad here is like, too, you need to rest, you know.
Yeah. We are going to, next week, we're going to talk a little bit about recovery and sleep and hydration and the importance of it, because I think it's massively underlooked, especially when you look at eating better and being nutritionally healthy, right? So I was on a cut before we started lockdown, and I wasn't shifting weight. And Lucy took a look at my calories and said, you're not eating enough. So I then was going to change my calories, but obviously with the change in circumstances, I'm not moving as much. I'm probably still eating the same. My weight's actually starting to drop, but part of that is because I'm getting much better sleep and I'm getting more sleep. It's not necessarily just the amount I'm consuming, it's how well I'm recovering. The body needs it. The body needs sleep. The body needs relaxation and recovery. So it's really important not to, just because you can work out 7 days a week, twice a day, don't do it. Yes, you may feel good for it and you may get the buzz after that, but that's where kind of active recovery days are really important. Going for those walks, going for a bike ride, a gentle jog, not necessarily a full-blown workout, that actually make a huge difference.
But mine happens just naturally. I think when I'm on shift, I've done 20,000 steps, but I haven't worked out that day. So I think life gives us a day off, doesn't it, normally?
Yeah, and it needs it, right? Because otherwise you'll feel absolutely exhausted, you'll feel drained. That's when you're more likely to emotionally eat as well, right? Because your brain is so overwhelmed, and the brain needs just as much recovery as the physical body. They're both very closely linked to each other. If one's out of whack, the other one is. And
the prep thing. So I was going to go onto the rower the other afternoon, and I was like, no, go in the kitchen and prep your food. That's just as important, and that's going to have the same benefit.
And it's just finding that balance. So yeah.
I was just thinking, actually, Jenny, on that whole lying to yourself thing. for me, I just thought, would I lie to someone I really love, like one of my kids? Would I say to them what I'm telling myself? It doesn't matter, you'll be fine.
No.
I wouldn't. And if I'm thinking about it like that, then it gives me a way of actually saying, do you know what? You've got to really, if you love your children, you've got to start loving yourself just as much, and just frame it. For me, framing it like that. Yeah, I've now got a new way of looking at it, which I think will help me. I wouldn't say to my kids, yeah, eat half of that cake, you'll be fine.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter, you deserve it. I wouldn't say that. And I wouldn't say, it's not going to impact your health. Yeah. I care about what they eat. Exactly. So that for me, I think will help going forward.
No, definitely. And I think it is, right? We're very quick to criticize ourselves, but maybe not be as brutally honest with ourselves as we need to be, right? And I think part of it is learning to be brutally honest with yourself.
Yeah.
But also not feeling down about it. Like, you can be brutally honest with yourself, but then move on from it. Like, so long as you learn from it, you move on from it. That's the most important part.
I'm quite proud of how well I lie to myself, actually. I think I'd get an A star if I had to sit an exam.
We'll compare notes after the lockdown, Jo, yeah?
But if I look at it like that, I think it's time to get real. So that's good.
Yeah, and it is about perspective, right? So everything you do is about perspective. Like I said, if you have a biscuit, have a biscuit. Just don't then beat yourself up about it. Change your perspective on it and just go, cool, time for a good lunch.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting you all now to go and grab a chocolate biscuit. Please don't do that. That's not what I'm trying to encourage here. But if you happen to later on in the day, or you're caught unprepared because you didn't bring your lunch or something like that, and it happens. That's life. Something's always going to come up, right? Just don't let it be the reason that it puts you off track. Yeah. Cool. Yep. Right, guys. Well, I am going to have to love you and leave you guys, because I am on to another call in a minute. But enjoy your bank holiday weekend, guys. We will talk again on Tuesday. But Jo, I'll send you the link for the WhatsApp group, and we'll keep chatting on the WhatsApp group, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Jen.
No worries.
Thank you.
See you guys
Bye,
later.
everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.